right, so now being 5:45, I'll call the Monday, March 27th meeting of the Plympton Board of Selectmen to order. Welcome, everyone, for our first back in the building meeting in quite a long time. Just a reminder, the recording is not to be considered an official public document. So first item on our agenda is we've got some updates and discussion, and that's the appointment of Brian Kling as our animal inspector, effective May 1st, 2023 to April 30th, 2024. Any discussion?
None.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion. We appoint Brian Kling, our animal inspector, effective May 1st, 2023 through April 30th of 2024. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Bree, warrants paid.
$18,530.50.
$18,530. Thank you, Bree, very much. Okay, Liz, do you have a report?
I do. So today is the deadline for town meeting articles. We've received a large number of them, and I've provided everybody with a little summary. Some of the articles in question, numbers need to be refined, and the summary that I provided does not include the ones that are non-monetary or don't require specific town funds. So like CPC one, the housekeeping one's not on here, some of those. So I'm working on the draft warrants right now, and I expect to have a draft of both the town annual and special town meeting warrants out to everybody for review by the end of the week. I'm plugging everything into that format.
Great.
And Finance Committee has a meeting next week on Monday evening to start talking about revenue projections and potential funding sources. So everything's moving along steadily with that. And otherwise, we've been plugging along with some of our building improvements and also somewhat scrambling to try to get another Green Communities grant application submitted in time for the first deadline. They actually have 2 funding cycles coming up. So it would be nice for us to get into the first funding cycle. And we did receive word from Old Colony Planning Council that they did approve our application for technical assistance to get our housing production plan updated, because we are due for an update this calendar year. So that was good news as well.
Very good news.
And then we do have some stuff in correspondence.
Could I, just checking in on the articles, the Open Space Committee, CPC.
That's all on there.
Is on there?
Yes.
We're in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Under correspondence, we have a request for the use of town property on April 23rd. The town green at Gazebo to Holt Field. This is for the baseball team and Plympton Athletic Youth Sports. Bree is going to be reaching out to all the department heads. She already sent something to them, so everybody is coordinating on that, and they will be serving snacks at Holt Field at the Snack Shack.
So is that opening day, like the opening day
Yes.
ceremonies?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited about that. I think they're thinking 75 kids, so.
Oh, how fun. That's awesome. Very good. All right. So we've got a request in front of us for use of the town green and gazebo to the Holt Field. All right. Any questions?
No questions.
No.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the request pending the sign-off by the other relevant boards for their use of these, this area of the town property for opening day. We have a second.
I'll second
All
this one.
right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Always a fun event. It's
It
nice to
is.
see it back.
Yeah.
We are totally out of practice on
I
not
know.
doing roll call.
I know.
All in favor.
We are.
Well, I thought you were doing all the seconds in the open.
Yeah.
All right, what is today's date?
Today's the 27th.
Hello, look at the
No.
agenda. Yeah, thank you.
Is that right?
Yes.
March 27th?
Yes.
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 Is it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And then we have just the standard notification that comes every year from Keolis that they are going to be doing the right-of-way vegetation management plans through the Department of Agricultural Resources. They work all along the commuter rail, and they have this notification out there for everybody. We did receive the letter from SLT, as previously noted, that they did withdraw their earth removal permit request. That application has been withdrawn. They fully understand that should their plans change or come together, that they will need to do a brand-new filing with the board. We did receive another letter from a constituent named Judith Pratt, a Carver resident, but where the hearing has already been canceled and everything. I just wanted to note that for the record, that we did receive
Could
that
I
letter.
get a copy of that, maybe? Because
Absolutely.
there
Yeah.
are two or three that would have been read tonight,
Yes.
in case
Yep.
that ever comes up in
We
the future.
can, we'll definitely keep this for the file as
Send it to
well.
all of us.
Okay. Then we have Colleen Thompson is notifying us that effective June 30th, she will be resigning from her position on the Zoning Board of Appeals. She did say she's potentially willing to serve as an alternate, so I think closer to the end of the fiscal year, we should reevaluate. I also received notice from Carolyn DeCristofano that she's not interested in serving as an alternate anymore on that same board. She's been serving in an alternate capacity. So I think sooner rather than later, we should probably look at that membership to make sure that they can have a full complement of board members for
So
July
there is
1.
one other alternate, though,
Yeah,
that-
Dave Alberti,
who could move back up.
potentially. So I think we should
He's
look at that.
pretty
a
well
little.
opposed to that. He stayed on only because we kept, harassing him,
We begged him.
basically.
Yeah, don't we all?
But I think that's been one of the toughest boards to fill that we have.
Right. Well, it's a lot of responsibility, and
And
once
it takes
you
a certain
sit
amount
for
of
a
knowledge.
hearing,
Yeah.
you need to be there for all the parts of it.
Of course, the flip side, and for the audience out there, it is incredibly important, and actually important decisions made there along the way. And
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
a great way to influence and be part and be of service in town government. I served on it years and years and years ago when Selectman John Henry assured me that it was totally common sense and got me hooked in, only to find out how absolutely complex it was, but really interesting decisions to wrestle with. So folks, if there's interest, let us know.
This for tomorrow.
I need there was the one request for that road cut from Eversource.
Oh, okay. Do you
Yes.
know where the location was? I didn't print it. But if you can check maybe while they go on to the other.
Yep, go right on.
Okay, sure.
We have one more correspondence coming up.
Okay.
That just came in today, an emergency.
All right. So we received the minutes from March 13th. Did you guys get a chance to read them?
I looked at him.
All right, did they look okay to you?
They did, we got the one correction that I sent you along the way?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
So it's
All right,
okay?
so I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes from
The only-
3:13. Go ahead.
This is we keep saying that Zoom meetings are better because it gets more attendance.
The Zoom meetings what?
Are better to have than in person because of attendance. And I just take a little issue with that, so 2 to 1 again.
So you think in-person's better than Zoom?
We have 2 people here, which is 2 more than we had on Zoom last week.
No, I think our last Zoom meeting, didn't we have a full house?
No,
Wasn't
you
that the
had
hearing?
nobody. You had, no, that was before
We
that.
had Mr. Burke,
Oh, we had
Pat
Mr.
Burke.
Burke to talk about.
Oh, he did come in, okay, so that's
um,
one.
Okay.
And then I thought there was another number, and we didn't know who it was.
There was.
And they weren't speaking.
I don't
okay,
know. I
okay.
don't know if it was a lawyer or what it was.
I have the correspondence too, if we want to do that.
Sure.
So from Eversource, it's an
Well,
emergency.
You want to
request.
finish the minutes?
Oh, sorry, I didn't
Okay,
realize
all
you
right.
weren't done.
So, motion to accept the minutes from 3:13 as amended.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, go
Okay,
ahead,
sorry
Liz.
about that.
That's all right.
Emergency request from Eversource. They need to install services at 178 Main Street. And Rob has already looked at this and approved, but they're looking for your emergency approval this evening.
I guess there's some laws that are gonna change, so they're trying to get it in before it,
Okay.
for
Before
road
this
And
cuts.
it's for the road cuts.
Okay.
For it. So Rob is in, he's all set with it.
All right.
Isn't that by the townhouse, the old townhouse?
Near it,
Yeah.
yeah, 178, so.
So what are they doing?
near it. 2 road cuts to put in gas service.
Oh, okay,
Utilities.
okay.
All right. Any concerns?
No,
You
No
good too, Mark?
concerns.
Okay, all right, I'll make a motion that we authorize Eversource to do a road cut at 178 Main Street for the installation of utilities, gas
Second.
and electric.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so,
Used to writing roll call vote.
I know. All right.
we can still take them if it'll
So,
help you.
Russ or Michelle, I mean, we're down at the end of our agenda. Is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about?
The application for earth removal has been withdrawn.
Correct.
What about the recycling of construction materials?
The application for that project has been withdrawn by the applicant.
It's withdrawn?
Withdrawn,
Yes.
withdrawn.
Because on your website, or Plympton Helping Plympton, they only mention the earth removal. They do not mention the recycling of construction materials.
It was
It
all
was all
in one.
application.
Was one
I had no
application,
idea,
yeah.
so
So
I was
they,
a little nervous.
Yeah.
I said, maybe I'm not paying attention.
yeah. No, they can't go forward.
Yeah, it was a package deal.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was the
great.
earth removal for that purpose.
Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
clarifying that.
Yeah, you're welcome, Michelle.
I want to feel like I'm
Missing
not
something?
paying attention.
All right, so our next meeting is on April 10th, followed by the 24th. We do have a brief executive session at the completion of open session tonight, and possibly returning just for an announcement of any votes taken in executive session. So do you want to hold the raves to the very end, or you want to do your raves now?
Might as well do raves while we're here, I would think.
Okay.
It's up to you, I don't know.
I'm
You
no
want to do your
preference.
raves now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Who'd like to go first?
I'll do it. My rave is for Plympton Town bylaws, and particularly the earth removal bylaw, the solar bylaw. We know we have a special, unique little town, and we have a lot of volunteers that help and do work, and ultimately, much of protecting the town, much of perpetuating what's great about this town is the protection that comes from bylaws, as recently evidenced by the earth removal situation. They're not easy to do. They tend to take a long time to put together. It's kind of a little bit of a challenge to get all the stakeholders in the room and kind of find the overlap so that we can be as supportive to all the stakeholders as possible. But the protection that comes that helps us keep Plympton unique. Sorry, I'm on my soapbox a little bit here, but my rave is for town bylaws, as dry and complicated as they are, how useful they are.
Yeah, good point, and I would just add the groundwater protection district to that as well. That
Exactly.
they're all very important to us, really maintaining the character of the town and that. Did you have a rave too, John?
Kind of a rave for there's a lot going on in town now, between the seniors and the recreation pays. It feels like we have more involvement right now than we've had in some years. So it feels good, and I hope we have a lot more of it. As a sort of an aside of that, we've oftentimes had to have the softball kids go to Halifax because we didn't have enough. My understanding is we're fielding 4 teams this year in Plympton.
Wow.
So that's a big,
That is
yeah.
big.
So, come when they have opening day, there'll be 75 kids marching across the road, and should be fun.
Very exciting.
Yep.
And there's half of our parade, Memorial Day parade, too.
Yes. I went to a parade, this is a side, in Vermont, where it was a very small town, even smaller than us. And the people would come down and they'd jump out of the parade and they'd watch and they'd cheer. And then another ones would jump out and they'd go back.
And then go back and sit down and cheer for everybody else. Oh, that's awesome.
We may end up doing that someday.
We may.
I'm sorry.
No worries. And my rave is just how it's nice to be back here and see you all in person.
I agree.
So, and you as well. So that would be my rave, to just kind of be back to normal.
Yes.
And it kind of goes in with pays and recreation, and life seems to be getting back to normal, and people are getting active again and coming out of hibernation.
So people, you've got to come to our meetings because they're exciting and, you know, a lot going on, and we'd be glad to talk to you. Well, if the application hadn't been withdrawn, there would be.
True.
We
there
would like
definitely
you to
would have
come
been.
anyway, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We love to have you come.
I wasn't aware, you mentioned the earth removal bylaws. I wasn't aware that something like that would have had an effect on his application, or removal of his application, so that's interesting.
There were parts of the bylaw that were very pertinent to his application. The groundwater protection was pertinent, our earth removal bylaws. There's, I think that was pretty much it this time around, but,
The
yeah.
earth removal was the one that comes before the selectmen. The other pieces, quite frankly, would go to planning, to conservation.
Yeah, the zoning typically would go to other boards, but when we knew that the zoning, the application wasn't allowed, then we shared that with them. So we actually used both the general bylaws, which is
Yep.
where the earth removal is, and the zoning.
Well, that's good.
It is
I
good.
mean, is that like a done deal then, or is there any way he can attempt to come around anyway and reapply? for
Well, he's
it?
withdrawn it for now.
He
That's,
can resubmit. I mean, you know, he's an owner, he's got land, he can resubmit, it's up to him.
right, what he comes back with. And hopefully comes back with something that fits within our bylaws.
Yeah.
Right, that would be the ideal scenario.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a good plus on the side of the town that, what you were to do.
I think one of the things that should take credit for is the bylaw review committee. Because I kept hearing from people like Linda Letty saying that, you know, the real estate people are telling us we're wide open. This was probably
Those conversations.
7, 8 years ago. And thanks to the bylaw review committee, I think we've made good progress in tightening down so that it reflects the will of the people now. I think.
Yeah, agreed. That was a very important committee.
That's all good to hear.
And they typically have articles they bring forth every year when they're reviewing the bylaws. I think it was, what, the use table last
Yes.
year? So I'm not sure what
not
they've
sure.
got planned
I think Mark would know better than I would.
this year. Wasn't it the table of uses, the schedule of uses they did last year?
Yeah, they
yes.
worked on that last year. This year, their groundwater protection district, some updates to that, and also the definitions section. they're
Beautiful.
Working on.
Great. So
So they
they're,
got their articles in earlier today.
and Liz, we don't need to take any action to close the warrant because it closes per the bylaws.
You know what, though, you may want to, just for clarity's sake, close the special, because the bylaws are silent as to the date of the closing of the special.
Okay.
Historically, we've always done it at the end of the date of the last Monday in March to make them coincide.
Okay.
So I would just say that at the end of today's date, that the special is closed.
Okay.
That's probably good to just.
Isn't the
for
language
records.
8 PM on this?
Yes, for the annual.
For the
It's
annual.
silent on
On
the
the special.
special.
So should we make the special the same?
Yeah,
8
let's do
PM?
that.
So I'm glad to make a motion that we
Okay.
close the special town meeting warrant at 8 PM tonight.
I'll second the motion. Roll call, or all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that's it for us for tonight. We've got a brief executive session, so I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for for the purpose of number 2, and that's to conduct strategy sessions in preparations for negotiations with our police chief. So do we have a second?
Second?
All right, and we do need to do a roll call vote. So roll call vote, Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
Mr. Russo?
Yes.
Mrs. Joy, yes. Okay, so we will go into executive session briefly, and then we will return to open session and possibly make an announcement and adjourn. And I'd like to announce the vote that we took. We are pleased with the progress and the job that Matt All is doing as our chief of police. And we are, he's got 1 year under his belt, so we are amending the term of his contract effective May 9th, 2023 to May 9th, 2026. So we will have 3 more years of his very good service. So that is all we've got. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we
All right.
adjourn.
I'm just going to note,
ahead.
I neglected to remind you about the executive session minutes from the last meeting.
Okay.
We can certainly get them the next executive session.
Okay, all right. Thank you for keeping us on track. All right, so we've got a motion to adjourn. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, good night. Thank you.